Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning to all of you. Okay, right. So you see, today topic is global warming, right? So this is the most important topic, right? So the global warming, which is one of the major problem of this century, right? So what is the greenhouse effect? Anybody? What is the greenhouse effect? Not greenhouse gases, greenhouse effect. Okay, then I will tell you. So the sunlight causes the Earth surface to heat up, right? So now Earth surface that radiates the thermal infrared radiation, IR, right? So now there are gases into atmosphere like carbon dioxide or nitrous oxide, water vapor, right? So they together ensure so that this infrared radiation is not allowed to leave the atmosphere. Why? Why? Because of a number of human activities. As you know, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is continuously increasing, right? And because of that, more and more heats get trapped into the atmosphere, right? So, in the atmospheric temperature goes up. It has been going up lately. So, the greenhouse effect is causing the Earth to slowly get warmer, and this is precisely the phenomena which is called as global warming. Global warming, right? You see here. So greenhouse gases. Is greenhouse gases any gas that has the property of absorbing infrared radiation. So that is heat energy, right? So this infrared radiation emitted from Earth's surface and re-radiating it back to the Earth's surface. So that's contributing to the greenhouse effect. So the global warming is the long-term warming of the planet's overall temperature, right? So this warming trend has been going on for a long time, right? Long time. So its pace has significantly increased in the last 100 years. Last 100 years. So since the year of 1992, each year it has been one of the warmest year on the records, right? Since from which year? 1992, right? 1992. So, you know, since record keeping began in the year of 1895. 1895, the hottest year on record worldwide, that is the year of 2000. 2016. This is worldwide record. 2016 is the hottest year, right? So according to what? To NOAA and NASA data, right? So that year, Earth surface temperature was 1.78 degrees Fahrenheit, right? And warmer than the average across the entire 20th century, right? So before 2016 and 2015, it was the warmest year on record, that is globally, right? So the earth temperature is still increased nowadays day by day, right? So because of what is the reason? That is humans and natural activities, right? So this is important things, right? So greenhouse effect is the main reason for global warming. It is defined as the increase in Earth's surface temperature and caused by the trapping of atmospheric heat. So this process causes Earth warmer than normal. So you see here, ultraviolet rays, infrared and invisible radiations. So these three are reached the Earth surface from the sun.
Non-visible radiations, huh?
Yes, infrared visible radiations are not N, UV radiation and infrared visible radiations, right? So when sun's energy reaches the Earth atmosphere, some of it is reflected back. I already told in heat budget, in radiation budget, right? So reflected back to the space, and some is absorbed and re-radiated by greenhouse gases. So 100 units, I already told about this 100 units, 65 units coming and 65 units same as outgoing, right? So 35 units, remaining 35 units, it's called albedo, right? Albedo. So the greenhouse effect is caused due to the gases which absorb and reflected radiant energy, right? So you see this picture, greenhouse effect. This is called greenhouse, glass greenhouse. So it's a greenhouse building. So this is the 3D picture and this is the real image. So it is made up of with glass walls and glass roofs, right? So totally it's a glass structure. So, and you can see some plants as well here. So, but there is a specific reason. So why that structure exists, right? Just wait 1 minute. So why that structure exists? So, you know, all of you know the clear glass allows sunlight to shine into the greenhouse, right? So, but does not allow the heat to escape. So let's understand what exactly is happening here. Solar radiation can easily pass through the glass, right? You see this red arrows, right? So now what happened then is the ground inside the glass house is heated up, right? Heated up. So when this ground is heated, it radiates thermal infrared radiation. So now the glass material does not allow this radiation to pass through. So the heat is trapped inside only, inside the glass house only. And because of this, right? So the temperature inside the glass house rises. These are called, what is that? Greenhouses. Glass greenhouses. So this is how greenhouse keeps plants warm, even at the night time and also in the winter season also, right? So now, see here, our atmosphere contains a number of different types of gases, right? So it's mostly made up of nitrogen, and oxygen. So nitrogen is 78% and oxygen is 21%. So, but it also contains a number of gases. It known as, what is that? Greenhouse gases. So the gases are responsible for the greenhouse effect. So that is also called as greenhouse gas. Or, so I can say simple sentence. What is the greenhouse gases? Heat trapping gases. You can write heat trapping gases. Simple sentence. Okay. So all the heat trapping gases are called as greenhouse gases. So basically, greenhouse gases are a group of, right? Group of compounds. So there are lots of gases that are able to trap heat in the atmosphere, right? So you see here, the greenhouse gases, when present in moderate quantities, help Earth retain the heat received from sunlight and thus helping in maintaining moderate temperature necessary for survival of life on Earth. So these greenhouse gases are good, right? But if they are in the right quantity, they form a layer around the Earth which acts like sort of a light blanket, right? So when the sun's rays are reflected into the Earth, some of the rays are absorbed by the Earth, right? So now this is the important thing. What is the main reason for global warming? Anybody? Main reason. What is the main reason? Tell me, anyone.
Effects of carbon dioxide, ma'am.
Okay, it's okay. But then next simple word. Main reason.
Cut the trees also. Increase in
Forestation.
Okay.
Ozone layer depletion.
Okay. So main for global.
Chlorofluorocarbons.
Okay, right. So the main reason for global warming is human activity, right? Human activity. So you see some of the human activities such as burning of fossil fuels, industrialization, and deforestation. All of you tell this about this deforestation right now, right? So, and also environmental pollution. So this causes increase in the greenhouse gases. So there are increase in greenhouse gases result in more heat being trapped on Earth's surface, right? So the increasing the average temperature is causing global warming. Now, so what are the greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases are those gases which absorb the long wave radiation emitted by the Earth's surface. And these greenhouse gases re-radiate this energy in different directions, thereby warming the Earth's atmosphere, right? So that means these greenhouse gases are crucial for the survival of life on our planet. But excessive presence of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere that leads to warming of the atmosphere and leading to permanent climatic changes in the form of global warming, right? So the main gases responsible for the greenhouse effects are, you see here, this one. So in previous question paper, they are asking, what are the greenhouse gases? So you write these all 6 things, right? So first one is water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, O3, ozone, and fluorinated gases, right? So these 7 are greenhouse gases. So these are the important, right? Important greenhouse molecules. That means heat trapping gases, right? So in this, water vapor and carbon dioxide, methane, right? These three gases are the most important greenhouse gases. And to lesser extent, surface level ozone and also nitrous oxide and fluorinated gases. So these are also trap infrared radiation. But these three are main, right? So now, and I will tell one by one. So first one is carbon dioxide, right? So carbon dioxide, you see, what is the carbon dioxide? That means CO2. You see one C carbon and 2 oxygen. That is called CO2, right? CO2. So carbon dioxide is the primary and most important gas in greenhouse gases. So manaku tala lantidi. Okay. So carbon dioxide is naturally present in the atmosphere as part of the Earth carbon cycle also. So carbon dioxide plays a critical role to increase the Earth surface temperature. And Earth needs a balance of greenhouse gases, that is to maintain just the right temperature for living things, right? So it allows the sun rays to pass through the atmosphere but prevent infrared heat radiation reflected by Earth from escaping into outer space and redirected heat back towards the Earth, right? So due to this, temperature of the atmosphere is increasing, right? So the carbon dioxide contributes approximately how much? 88%, right? 88% to the warming of the globe or world, right? So hence the global warming is identified mostly with the increase in carbon dioxide emissions that has with human and natural activities. So main thing is human activities, right? So more than 60% of carbon dioxide emission, those are caused by these things. What are the burning fossil fuels? So what are the burning fossil fuels? Coal, natural gas, and also oil, etc. Right? And cutting down and burning trees, and also thermal power plants and automobiles, and also this is also very important thing, deforestation. So this accounts for about 20% of the carbon dioxide increase from the human activities, right? So half of carbon dioxide emitted by the, from which? Human activities, right? Human activities. So the human activities are altering the carbon cycle, both by adding more carbon dioxide to the atmosphere and by influencing the ability of natural things. So like forests and soils to remove and store carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So significant natural things include terrestrial vegetation, right? Terrestrial vegetation, so which takes up carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. Okay, right. So by carbon dioxide emissions come from a variety of natural sources, and also human related emissions are responsible for the increase that has occurred in the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution. So Industrial Revolution. So what is this Industrial Revolution? Anyone?
Increase in industrial production.
Factories, industry.
Heavy usage of fuels, madam, because of revolution.
In the 18th century, madam, when the industrial build up.
Okay, right. Right. So it is a modern history. The process of change from an agrarian and handicraft economy to one dominated by industry and machine manufacturing, right? So this process began in, this industrial revolution process began in Britain, right? Britain in the 18th century, right? 18th century. And from there spread to other parts of the world. So although they used earlier by French writer, so the term industrial revolution. So I don't know exact name, that's the French writer, right? Okay. So it was first popularized by the English economic historian Arnold, A-R-N-O-L-D, Arnold Toynbee, T-O-Y-N-B-V, B-E-E, right? So that is the year of 1852 to 83. That is to describe Britain's economic development from 1760 to 1840. So this middle of the year is called Industrial Revolution, right? So the several processes are also produce carbon dioxide emissions through chemical reactions that do not involve combustion. And examples include the production of mineral products. What is the mineral products? Anyone? Mineral products.
Metallurgy, right?
Mineral products such as cement.
Oh.
So the production of metals. What are the metal products?
Aluminum.
Right. మీ దగ్గర ఉంది కదా గచ్చిబౌలి అల్యూమినియం ఫ్యాక్టరీ, right?
ఉంది మేడం.
Right. Iron, steel, aluminum, right? And also production of the chemical, right? So the main human activity that emits carbon dioxide is the combustion of fossil fuels. This is the important thing. Fossil fuels. So examination lo adugutaru fossil fuels carbon dioxide ide important. Deen gurinchi adugutaru ekkuva, right? Combustion of fossil fuels. So coal, natural gas, and also oil, right? So for energy and transportation, although certain some industrial processes and land use changes also emit carbon dioxide, right? So you see here transportation. So the transportation, the combustion of fossil fuels such as gasoline and diesel, that is to transport people and goods. That was the largest source of carbon dioxide emissions. So this category includes transportation sources, right? Transportation sources such as highways and passenger vehicles and air travels, and also some marine transportation and rail, right? So all almost of 95% of the world's transportation energy comes from which? Petroleum-based fuels and largely gasoline and diesel, right? So this is the transportation sources. And electricity. Electricity is significant source of the energy, and it is used to power homes and business and also industries. So the combustion of fossil fuels to generate electricity was the second largest source of carbon dioxide emissions, right? So the types of fossil fuel used to generate electricity emit different amounts of carbon dioxide. That is to produce a given amount of electricity, and burning of coal, it will produce more carbon dioxide than natural gas or oil. And next, industrial source, right? So many industrial processes emit carbon dioxide through, what is that? Fossil fuel consumption, right? So fossil fuels burn on site at facilities for energy. So these sectors are also includes emissions from some chemical, metallurgical, and mineral transformation processes not associated with energy consumption. Emissions from what is that? Waste management activities, right? So emissions from industrial electricity use are excluded, and these are instead covered in the electricity and heat production sectors, right? So this is the transportation sources and electric sources and industrial sources. Now, you see this graph shows the progressive increase in carbon dioxide concentration over the past 5 decades, something here. You see here. So this source, this one, NOAA at System Research Laboratory. So Institute of Scripps Oceanography, right? So you see here, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, now the over 400 parts per million. So which is represents a greater than, right? Greater than how much? 20%. You see here, 20%. 20% increase since the 1960s. Right? Up to here, 2010 something here. Okay. So this increase in carbon dioxide concentrations as well as other greenhouse gases such as methane, so that is directly related to an observed increase in global temperature. So you can observe on this graph here also. So this process is called global warming, right? The next, methane, right? So methane means C, 1C, and 4, what is that? H means?
Hydrogen.
CH4, right? CH4. So methane is the second most important in the greenhouse gases. It contributes approximately how much? 18%. You see here, 18% to total radiative forcing by long-lived greenhouse gases. You see here, human activities. Human activities emitting methane includes leaks from natural gas systems and the raising of livestock. And methane is also emitted by natural sources such as natural wetlands. In addition, natural processes in soil and chemical reactions in the atmosphere help remove methane from the atmosphere, right? So methane is emitted from energy and industry and also agricultural land use and also waste management activities also, right? And also generated by the bacteria. So that is called methanogens, methanogens. So which is habitat in marshes, right? Marshes, swamp, and wetland sites. So methane gas escapes from garbage landfills, right? Garbage landfills and open dumps also. So it also leaks out during mining and extraction and transportation of coal, oil, and also natural gases, right? So coal mining is also a source of methane emissions. So methane's lifetime in the atmosphere is much shorter than carbon dioxide, right? Much shorter than carbon dioxide. But Methane is more efficient at trapping radiation than carbon dioxide. Remember this, right? More trapping, right? So radiation. So the comparative impact of one molecule, right? One molecule of methane, that is 25 times. How much? 25 times greater than carbon dioxide. Over here, 100 years period, right? So you see here, approximately 40% of methane is emitted totally. I'm saying totally 40% of methane is emitted into the atmosphere by natural sources, and 60%, remaining 60% out of 100, 60% of total methane emissions comes from human activities. So 40 is natural sources, 60 is human activities, right? So you see here, agriculture sources. So those are domestic livestock such as cattle, swine, sheep, and goats. So those are produced methane as a part of their normal digestive process. And methane is produced when animal manure is stored or managed in lagoons or holding tanks. So you remember here, you see here, so one cow can produce 73,000 liters per year. What is that? Methane, right? So one cow can produce 73,000 liters per year. So you see how much? 73,000, right? So part of their normal digestive processes. So about 65% of cow manure is composed of methane, and making it an abundant energy sources like gobar gas. All of you know about this gobar gas?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So because humans raise these animals for food and other products, so the emissions are considered human related activities. So the agriculture, right? So agriculture sector is the primary source of methane emissions, and also energy and industry. So methane is the primary component of natural gas and also some petroleum systems. So these are the second largest source of methane emissions in the some of the countries, right? So some amount of methane is emitted to the atmosphere during the production, processing, and storage and transmission, and also distribution of natural gas, right? And the next, waste from homes and business. So methane is generated in landfills as waste decomposes and in the treatment of wastewater. And landfills also. So these are the third largest source of methane emissions, landfills, right? So methane is also generated from domestic, industrial wastewater treatment, and from composting and non-aerobic digestion, right? So the methane is also emitted from a number of natural sources, right? So the natural wetlands are also the largest source, emitting methane from bacteria that decompose organic materials in the absence of oxygen. And also smaller sources, those are includes, what is that? Termites and oceans, and also some sediments, and also volcanoes, and also wildfires. right? Wildfires. So these are the smaller sources. Then next, nitrous oxide, right? So this is the third most significant greenhouse gas. Right?
Exam lo each gases గురించి అడుగుతారు కంబైన్ గా అడుగుతారు.
ఇప్పుడు అడుగుతారు what is the greenhouse gases? Write about greenhouse gases and total 7 రాయాలి మీరు.
Okay, 7 రాసేసి separate explain చేయాలి.
Separate explain చేయాలి. Total greenhouse gases are 7 and total రాసి headings 1 by 1 details explain చేయాలి. Okay?
మళ్ళీ స్ట్రక్చర్ కూడా వేయాలి మేడం ఇట్లా.
మీ ఇష్టం వేస్తే వేయండి, మీకు టైం ఉంటే మీకు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటే ఎక్కువ మార్క్స్ పడతాయి కదా. ఇప్పుడు కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ అని మీరు స్ట్రక్చర్ కూడా వేసుకోవచ్చు. అందుకే నేను ఈ ఫిగర్స్ పెట్టాను మీకు ఈజీగా అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఉంటుంది అనేసి. ఓకే, మీరు ఇప్పుడు నైట్రస్ ఆక్సైడ్ అయింది N2, 1 ఆక్సిజన్ 2 నైట్రస్, రైట్, నైట్రోజన్స్. సో N2 ఈ స్ట్రక్చర్ వేసుకోవచ్చు మీరు. సేమ్ ఈ బబుల్స్ పెట్టేసి 1 ఆక్సిజన్ 2 nitrogens, N2O, this is called N2O. అలా రాసుకోవచ్చు మీరు. దాని
నైట్రస్ నైట్రస్ ఆక్సైడ్ మేడం, నైట్రోజన్
నైట్రస్
N2 వచ్చింది.
దీన్ని ఎంత మీరు ఎన్లార్జ్ చేసి రాసుకుంటే అంత మంచిది. 15 మార్క్స్ కి ఇస్తే చాలా బెస్ట్ ఇది. ఓకే,
ఇదే ఇవ్వండి మేడం, బాగుంది.
అది నాకు లేదు అని జస్ట్ మీకు, అందుకే నేను జస్ట్ మీకు ఇమేజెస్ కూడా దీంట్లో పెట్టాను. ఇది చూసి మీకు కొంచెం ఐడియా వచ్చేస్తుంది కదా. జస్ట్ నైట్రస్ ఆక్సైడ్ అని చెప్పేసి తెలియదు అనేసి నేను ఈ కూడా పెట్టేశాను మీకు. ఓకే, సో యు సీ ఇట్ కంట్రిబ్యూట్స్ అప్రాక్సిమేట్లీ హౌ మచ్ 6%, రైట్? 6% టు టోటల్ రేడియేటివ్ ఫోర్సింగ్ బై లాంగ్ లివ్డ్ గ్రీన్హౌస్ gases, right? So this gas produced naturally from human activities, about 60%, right? Total 100% నేను చెప్పేది 60%. So human activities such as agriculture and the next, what is that? Fuel combustion and wastewater management, and also industrial activities are industrial process. So these are increasing the amount of nitrous oxide in the atmosphere. So this N2O is also naturally present in the atmosphere as part of the Earth nitrogen cycle. Okay, and bacterial activity. So in the soil, and it has a variety of natural sources. So the impact of one molecule, right? One molecule at M2O on warming the atmosphere, that is almost how much? 300 times that of one molecule of carbon dioxide, right? One molecule of carbon dioxide. You see how much? 300 times, right? The next you see here, agriculture sector, same sources. So nitrous oxide can result from various agricultural soil management activities. So what is it? Such as application of synthetic and organic fertilizers, and also some other cropping practices, and the management of manure or burning of agricultural residues, right? So agricultural soil.
ఇది నైట్రస్ ఆక్సైడ్ లాఫింగ్ గ్యాస్ కూడా కదా?
అవునవును, రైట్.
ఓకే, లాఫింగ్ గ్యాస్.
So agricultural soil management is also the largest source of the N2O emissions, right? The next, fuel combustion. So N2O is emitted when fuels are burned, right? So the amount of nitrous oxide emitted from burning fuels depends on the type of fuel and combustion technology and maintenance, and also operating practices. The next, wastewater management. So N2O is also generated from treatment of domestic wastewater during nitrification and denitrification of the nitrogen present. Usually in the form of urea, right? Urea, and also ammonia, and also proteins, right? So this is the wastewater management source and industry. So nitrous oxide is generated as a byproduct.
Madam, ఇది అగ్రికల్చర్ లో వేరియస్ అగ్రికల్చర్ సాయిల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ యాక్టివిటీస్ అంటే నైట్రోజన్ ఫిక్సేషన్.
అగ్రికల్చర్ లో కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ వస్తుంది, మీకు మీథేన్ వస్తుంది, నైట్రస్ వస్తుంది, అన్ని వస్తున్నాయి. కాబట్టి మీరు సపరేట్ రాసుకోవాలి. లేదు టోటల్ చెప్పండి.
నైట్రోజన్ ఫిక్సేషన్ అంటే
ఏది?
అగ్రికల్చర్
ఫిక్సేషన్ కాదు, నైట్రిఫికేషన్. ఈ మెథడ్స్ ఉంటాయి వేస్ట్ వాటర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ దాంట్లో. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మీకు దాంట్లో వచ్చింది ఆల్రెడీ వేస్ట్ వాటర్. నువ్వు క్లాసులు వినలేదు.
అగ్రికల్చర్ వేరియస్ అగ్రికల్చర్ సాయిల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ యాక్టివిటీస్ అగ్రికల్చర్. సో ది నైట్రోజన్ ఫిక్సేషన్ కూడా అగ్రికల్చర్ కింద
వస్తుంది, అది కూడా వస్తుంది. కాకపోతే మనం ఇక్కడ సపరేట్ రాసాం అంతే. Then next, which is used to make synthetic commercial fertilizers and in the production of adipic acid, and which is used to make fibers, adipic acid, right? So danni manam fiber lo use chestam. Adipic acid, ADIPEC. So which is used to make fibers like nylon and also other synthetic products, right? So the nitrous oxide emissions occur naturally through many sources that are associated with the nitrogen cycle, which is the natural circulation of nitrogen among the atmosphere, and also plants and animals and microorganisms. So that live in soil and water, right? So nitrogen takes on a variety of chemical forms throughout the nitrogen cycle, including N2O, right? So natural emissions of N2O, those are mainly from bacteria breaking down nitrogen in the soils and also the oceans, right? So nitrous oxide, it is removed from the atmosphere when it is absorbed by certain types of bacteria or destroyed by ultraviolet radiation or some chemical reactions, right? So this is the N2O. Then next, water vapor. So this is also most important abundant greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, right? So most of the greenhouse eating of atmosphere is due to water vapor absorption of infrared radiation emitted by the earth. And then transferring the energy to the surrounding air molecule. So water vapor, you see here water vapor, 1 oxygen, 2 hydrogen, right? ఏమంటారు దీన్ని? 1 ఆక్సిజన్ వస్తే ఏం రాయాలి దీన్ని? వాటర్ వేపర్ ని చెప్పండి, ఎనీవన్? సో కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ is
ask in English, what did you just ask?
Okay, it's a carbon dioxide. Carbon means 1 carbon and 2 oxygens. So that you can write CO2. So what is this? Water vapor. 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogens. H2O. 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen, right? So, okay.
It's the same formula for water also, no?
Yeah. So water vapor is the biggest overall contributor to the greenhouse effect or atmosphere, right? So it is the most important greenhouse gases. So, but humans are not directly responsible for emitting this water vapor gas in quantities sufficient to change its concentration in the atmosphere. So, however, the carbon dioxide and other gases are increasing the amount of water vapor in the air by boosting the rate of, what is that? Evaporation, right? Evaporation. Then next, O3. So all 3 oxygen, that is called O3. Right? So ozone, right? So ozone is technically, it is a greenhouse gas, right? But ozone is helpful or harmful depending on where it is found in the our atmosphere, right? So ozone occurs naturally at higher elevations in the atmosphere, where it forms a layer that blocks ultraviolet light, which is harmful to plant and animal life from reaching the earth surface. So the protective benefits of stratospheric ozone overweights its contribution to the greenhouse effect to global warming. So however, at lower elevation of the atmosphere, the ozone is harmful to the human health. So O3, ozone means O3, right? So it is the one of the biggest contributor to the greenhouse gas. And also ozone layer helps in the absorption of most of the toxic ultraviolet rays from the sun, right? And the ozone is found to be present on the top surface of the stratosphere around how much? 30 miles, right? 30 miles higher than the surface or ground surface, right? So where it helps the earth. So whereas around 12 miles higher above the troposphere, right? And then similarly, in the middle section of the troposphere, the ozone assists in cleaning up some pollutants, right? So it is 2000 times, you see, 2000 times as effective as carbon dioxide in heat retention property, right? 2000 times. Then next, fluorinated gases. So anybody tell me what are the fluorinated gases? Any idea?
No, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. So fluorinated gases, also known as F gases, right? F gases. And these are synthetic and powerful greenhouse gases that are emitted from a variety of industrial processes such as aluminum and semiconductor manufacturing, right? And fluorinated gases are often used as a substitutes for ozone depleting substances. So ozone depleting. So this is the big topic. This is another unit. So I will tell the topic briefly. So fluorinated gases are sometimes used as substitutes for stratospheric ozone depleting substances, right? And these gases are typically emitted in smaller quantities, but because they are powerful greenhouse gases, smaller quantities, but those are powerful greenhouse gases, right? So with an even higher warming potential than carbon dioxide, right?
ozone depleting substances and developed as substitutes for
ఒక టాపిక్ ఉంది ఓజోన్ డిప్లీటింగ్ దాంట్లో వస్తుంది నేను చెప్తాను యూనిట్ ఉంది సెపరేట్ గా ఓకే ఓకే సో సమ్ టైమ్స్ దే ఆర్ రిఫర్డ్ టు యాజ్ యు సీ హియర్ హై గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ potentials, that is called GWPS, right? High GWPS gases, so relative to other greenhouse gases. So fluorinated gases do not produce from natural sources. That is only comes from human related activities. What is that? Human related activities. It is used in a range of everyday products as well as in industrial applications, right? So they can also have long atmospheric lifetimes. So in some cases, and lasting thousands of years, right? So most of the fluorinated gases are well mixed in the atmosphere, spreading around the world after they are emitted, right? So many fluorinated gases are going to remove from the atmosphere. So only when they are destroyed by sunlight in the fair upper atmosphere. So in general, fluorinated gases are the most potent and longest lasting type of greenhouse gases that is emitted by, what is that? Human activities, right? Human activities only. So however, these fluorinated gases are powerful greenhouse gases with a global warming effect up to how much? 23,000 times greater than carbon dioxide. 23,000 times, right? So, and their emissions are rising very strongly, right? So, you see here, so these are the fluorinated gases. Main categorized as, first one is hydrofluorocarbons. It's called HFCS, right? HFCS. And perfluorocarbons, it's called PFCS. Okay. Then next, third one is sulfur hexafluorides. It's called SFS, right? Or SF6. And nitrogen trifluoride, it's called NFS, right? NFS. So these are the 4 fluorinated important gases. So first one is hydrofluorocarbons, right? So these are used as refrigerant and aerosols, propellants, and also some foam blowing agents, solvents, and fire retardants, right? So the major emissions source of these compounds is their use as refrigerant, right?
Ma'am, the chlorofluorocarbons rawa, madam?
Fluorinated gases, right?
Okay.
Hydrofluorocarbons. So main important thing in air conditioned systems, right? Air conditioned system lo manaki this main refrigerators and air conditions. Okay? Andike AC off cheskondi use cheyaddu. Fridge lu kuda. Adi lekapothe malli etla manam batakalem gani. Okay, right. So these chemicals were developed as a replacement for, now you see, chlorofluorocarbons. Adigavu kada? Hydrofluorocarbons. Replacement, right? Chlorofluorocarbons, CFCS, and hydrofluorocarbons, HCFCS, HCFCS, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, because they do not deplete the stratospheric ozone layer, right? So chlorofluorocarbons and hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Chadavadam koncham kashtanga unda, right? So these two are being phased out under an international agreement. So the international agreement ivanni the next unit in the dantlo cheptanu, okay? So then that is called the Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol is the biggest topic in your CH book, right? So hydrofluorocarbons are potent greenhouse gases with high global warming potential. That is called GWPs, right? And they are released into the atmosphere during manufacturing processes and through leaks and servicing and also disposal of equipment in which they are used, right? Then next, here you see hydrofluoroolefins, HFOs, HFOS, right? Hydrofluoroolefins. So these are developed and these are a subset of hydrofluorocarbons, and these are characterized by short atmospheric lifetimes and also lower global warming potentials. So the hydrofluoroolefins, these are currently being introduced as refrigerants and aerosol propellants and also foam blowing agents, right? Then next, perfluorocarbons. Third one is the perfluorocarbons, that is called PFCS, right? PFCS. So these are the compounds consist of fluorine, right? Fluorine and carbon. Fluorine and carbon, right? So perfluorocarbons are produced as a byproduct of aluminium. Aluminium. Where is the aluminium factory, Durgesh? In Gachibowli. So byproduct of aluminium smelting process, and these are used in the manufacturing of semiconductors and cosmetics and also pharmaceutical industries, as well as in refrigeration when combined with other gases, right? So perfluorocarbons generally have long atmospheric lifetimes and near 10,000 years. 10,000 years, right? The next, sulfur hexafluoride. So it is used in magnesium processing and semiconductor manufacturing. So as well as a tracer gas for some leak detections, right? So HFC23 is produced as a byproduct of HCFC22 production, and it is used in semiconductor manufacturing, right? Okay. So this is the percentage contribution of various anthropogenic greenhouse gases emissions at global level in the year of 2010. So this is the IPCC report 2014, right? So carbon dioxide is 65% and carbon from fossil fuels and also industrial process. And here forestry and other land use, that is 11%, and methane is 16, and nitrous oxide is 6, and fluorinated gases. This is a small amount, 2% only, right? So these are the greenhouse gases, right? So now tell me, what are the greenhouse gases? All of you understand my lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the greenhouse gases? Tell me.
Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbons.
Water vapor.
Water vapor, okay. So first three is very important things, right? Carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor, right?
Water vapor.
Right, okay. Next, causes, right? What are the causes of global warming? So these are the two major causes of global warming here. So some are natural and some are man-made causes. So that is danger for the existence of life on the earth. So first one is man-made causes and second one is natural causes, right? So you see here, what are the man-made causes? So they are asking causes of global warming or causes of climate systems also. That is another topic, right? You write these two. First one is man-made and second one is natural. So what are the man-made causes? You see here, deforestation, use of vehicles, fluorocarbons, I already told about this, and industrial development, and also agriculture and overpopulation. This is very important, overpopulation, right? So first one is deforestation. How deforestation is cause of global warming? Anybody?
Ma'am, when you cut down the trees, the oxygen level decreases,
yes,
and the dioxide level increases.
Right. Okay. So plants are the main source of oxygen, right? So they take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, thereby maintaining environmental balance. So forests are being depleted for many domestic and commercial purposes. So this has led to an environmental balance, thereby giving rise to global warming. And use of vehicles. So that is also use of vehicles, even for a very short distance, result in various gaseous emissions, right? So vehicles burn fossil fuels, which emit a large amount of carbon dioxide and also other toxins, right, into the atmosphere. That is resulting in a temperature increase. And chlorofluorocarbons. Now, just now I told about this, right? Then next, industrial development. So with the advent of industrialization, the temperature of the earth, which has been increasing rapidly, right? So what is the reason? The harmful emissions from the factories add to the increasing temperature of the earth. So in the year of 2013, right, 2013, the Intergovernmental Panel for a Climatic Change Report. So that is the increase in the global temperature between the year 1880 and 2012. It has been how much? 0.9 degrees Celsius, right? So the increase is 1.1 degrees Celsius when compared to pre-industrial mean temperature, right? Mean temperature. So this is 1880 to 2012, that is the 0.9 degree Celsius. And then next, agriculture. So various farming activities that produce carbon dioxide and also methane gases, right? So these add to the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and increase the temperature of the earth. And lastly, overpopulation. So suppose nowadays in one girl child, right? Government పెట్టింది one girl child, but overpopulation అనేది మనకి ఎక్కువైపోయింది. సో మాక్సిమం అందరి ఇంట్లో 2 or 3 members ఉండొచ్చు. One girl child ఎవరికి ఉందండి? One girl child. Anyone? Or one girl boy? Sorry sir, one boy.
One boy ఉన్నాడు.
మీకేనా? ఓకే, అంతవరకు స్టాప్ చేయండి.
మేడం
మీరు గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ ని okay. So in population, it means more people breathing, right? More people breathing. So this lead to an increase in the level of carbon dioxide. So the primary gas causing global warming in the atmosphere, right? So you write these all things in man-made causes of global warming. So you can explain any, right? Okay. Then next, natural sources. So those are volcanoes, water vapor, melting permafrost, and forest blaze. So volcanoes are one of the largest natural contributors to global warming. So the ash, right? Ash and smoke. So these two are emitted during volcanic eruptions, goes out into the atmosphere and affects the chain. Then next, water vapor. So it is a kind of a greenhouse gas, right? So due to the increase in the earth's temperatures, more water gets evaporated from the water bodies and stays in the atmosphere, adding to global warming, and melting permafrost. So permafrost is frozen soil that has environmental gases trapped in it for several years, and it is present below Earth surface, right? So it is present in glaciers, glaciers, glaciers. So as the permafrost melts, it releases the gases back into the atmosphere. So that's increasing Earth's temperature automatically, right? Then next, forest blazes. So these are called forest fires also, right? That is emit a large amount of carbon containing smoke. So these gases are released into the atmosphere and it is increase the Earth's temperature, resulting in global warming, right? So these are the natural sources and these are the man-made sources, right? You can write these two things, man-made and natural. Then next, effects. So what are the effects of global warming? So these major effects. So you see here, rise in temperature and stress.
Ma'am, effect and impact is same, na?
Yes. Effects. These are causes, right? Same like, but they are asking different names, right? And climate change, I already told about spread diseases. So same, this is, and highly mortality rates and loss of natural habits, right? Same things. So this is the
actually, ma'am, effects.
ఇప్పుడు causes అంటే ఏంటి, మనకి ఏం కాజ్ అవుతున్నాయి అనేది కదా. ఎలా కాజెస్ ఏంటి అంటే గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ దేని ద్వారా మనకి ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది, మ్యాన్ మేడ్ కాజెస్ ఏంటి, న్యాచురల్ కాజెస్ ఏంటి అని చెప్పు డౌట్ దుర్గేష్.
మేడం అక్కడ ఏఎఫ్ఎఫ్ఈసిపి డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంది కదా మేడం, అదే మేబీ ఇష్యూస్
అంతే ఏం లేదు. వాళ్ళ ఇప్పుడు ఎగ్జామ్ లో ఆస్కింగ్ కాజెస్, కాన్సిక్వెన్సెస్ ఇలా అడుగుతుంటారు.
No ma'am, in our assessment there is assignment, there is a question, list the impact of global warming on environment.
Impact, same impacts also, right? What are the impacts of global warming? Okay, same they are asking like this. Okay, causes, impacts, effects. Okay, you can write anything. So this is the global warming and greenhouse effect and greenhouse gases. Okay, any doubt?
No ma'am.
Okay, then next, now this topic is over now only, and then next Vasanthi madam will take the class. So I will post in your group username and passcode. Okay, so you can take break up to 1:30. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So class, next class starts at 1:30. Okay, 1:30 to 3, and again 3 to 4:30, right? 4:30 I can take or Vasanthi madam. Okay.
Okay ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, class రేపు కూడా ఉంది కదా ma'am?
క్లాస్ రేపు కూడా ఉంది. ఓకేనా? అంటే టైమింగ్స్ ఈరోజు జస్ట్ ఒక 1 hour లేట్ పెట్టాను నేనే, అందుకని డిగ్రీ క్లాసెస్ కూడా ఉండే, అందుకే వెళ్ళలేదు. ఇదే తీసుకున్నాం ఈరోజు, మనకు లేట్ అయిపోతుంది కదా అందుకని. ఓకేనా? ఏం డౌట్స్ లేవు కదా? ఓకే, హోస్ట్ నేనే, దీనికి నేను వాసంతి మేడంది నేనే పోస్ట్ చేస్తాను, యూజర్ నేమ్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్. ఓకే, ఓకే, తర్వాత జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. ఓకే, దెన్ బాయ్. ఓకే,
Bye, ma'am.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you.